Bonafide Hustler here, and today we're going to be talking a little bit more about a profitable niche that you should be messing with. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the inside of my office, and it's a nice day outside today. There are no lights hitting me in the office. Like, this is actually outdoor light. It's a beautiful day outside. And that's a perfect way to segue into the niche that we're talking about today, which are outdoor goods and why you should be really messing around with these kind of things. Now, the previous video, which I will link at the first link down below, all right? That first video, we talked about some objections, regarding outdoors-based goods. We talked about some interesting tips that I had, and I showed 3 items. You should definitely check out that video. We also talked about the benefits of actually incorporating outdoor-based goods into your income stream. But thanks a lot, guys, for all the comments and the questions, because we're gonna be going through some of those today. Now, why outdoor goods? Once again, it is, to me, a superior type of inventory, especially if you're messing with eBay. It's a really good thing that you can flip on eBay and local avenues as well, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, things like that. Outdoor items, if you pick them well, they usually don't last past a month. That's a pretty fast selling piece of inventory, but you have to be in the know. And the awesome thing about outdoor-based goods is they stick out like a sore thumb. So I like to look at it as, you can spend a lot of time in the thrift store, especially if you're into clothing, electronics, or anything else like that, even shoes sometimes, going through each and every one and, going through all the racks or going through all the electronics, and you have to test some of them. You have to find the remote control of this one, that one. That can be very time consuming. Whereas outdoor-based goods are very quick to notice. I mean, you look at it, you go, well, that's profitable. And let me just take a quick look and see, and voila, you can make some cheddar really, really quickly. Cheddar is money. For all the people that don't know my channel, there might be some new people that are watching this, cheddar equals money, so just so you know. Yeah, I kind of alluded to the fact that outdoor-based goods are definitely an income stream that you should be looking into, because you can find these things at the places you are currently going to right now. So if you love thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, things like that, you can find outdoor-based goods there. You can also find outdoor goods Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, Craigslist, places like that too. So if you're already thrifting for something and you're really good at it, you ought to learn this genre. It's definitely super profitable. Now, for the people that are catching me for the first time on this video, I'm the Bonafide Hustler, and I've been reselling outdoor-based goods for the past 16 plus years. I started with bikes, then I went into lake-related goods, into sporting goods, all that kind of stuff. I've made some really good money doing it, and I still do it to this day. I sell on avenues like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, my antique booth, and other consignment avenues in town as well. But predominantly, I am buying used goods and I am flipping it for more money. It's great. You don't need a boss, no hours to work that are dedicated. It's something you can do in your own time. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you another outdoor, it's kind of an outdoor-based good, but it's kind of not an outdoor-based goods, but it's cool because it belongs in that active lifestyle, and the people that use this item are definitely outdoorsy type people, typically in the background. And that's a medicine slam ball, all right? So a medicine ball truly does not, you can't compress it. A medicine ball is kind of hard, but a slam ball is a medicine ball that you can slam on the ground like that. Now, this happens to be a really good brand. It's one of my personal slam balls. This is a Dynamax 10 pounder, and typically, brand new, you're gonna spend anywhere between 60 to about 100 bucks on a slam ball if you have to order one brand new. And if you go to a garage sale or a thrift store or something like that, and you see one of these things for 5 bucks, you can usually flip them on local markets for like 30 or 40, sometimes 50 bucks. But they come in all kinds of, pound increments. So here we have a 10, they make an 8, they make a 15, a 12 and a half, they make even up to 20. I want to say they even have a 25. These are used for many things, but the most important thing is that it's a medicine slam ball that you slam it down on the ground and it builds some good functional based muscle. Definitely look into things like this, because when I find slam balls, it's typically at garage sales and typically at thrift stores. You can find one. The most I've actually found was 3 at a time, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, you can find these usually singles or doubles. And you can also find them on Facebook Marketplace as well. Very kind of common place to find these things. But look out for medicine slam balls. Very important. This is one of the best brands right here. Fringe is a good brand as well. Rogue, all those brands are pretty decent. But Dynamax is definitely one of the most respected brands in the game. Rather than show you 2 more items, I wanted to show you a couple tips of the cleaners that I use, or some of the cleaners that I use. So right here, when you get a shoe or anything fabric based where there might be an X mark or a price tag on some fabric, maybe a nylon, I wrote the price tag on a backpack, for example, or there's an X or some kind of stain that is inside a shoe, or a price that's inside a shoe. And I say X because some of the places that you can find some really good outdoor-based goods are REI garage sales, right? And they X out a lot of things. But if it's on fabric, okay, and there's some sort of stain or some sort of marker used, I really like using any oxy-based carpet cleaner. It's really important to look into this and have some of this on hand when you have fabric-based things that have some stains that you want to get out for sure. But a lot of times stains don't really super deter anything, but if it's something that's almost surface-based, then OxySteam carpet cleaner will work. And you should definitely have some of this on hand at all times. The other cleaner, which is one of my favorite cleaners, and I have like been swearing by this cleaner ever since my channel was ever built, Barkeeper's Friend, all right? So this is a powder that you have to combine with water. It produces almost like a paste, and you put it to some sort of a abrasive type cloth that you can find. And you can get scuffs, especially scuffs, off of hard surfaces. So like a bike frame, lacrosse helmet, think about those type of surfaces. They're completely different. A bike frame can be aluminum, it can be carbon, it can be steel, whereas a helmet is usually plastic, right? And so you make the paste with this, it's really easy and it lasts forever, one of these things. And this can right here is probably like $2 at a store. You should always have this thing when you're dealing with hard surfaces where you want to remove scuffs, and stains, really. Another thing that's really good for is when you combine it with steel wool, or you combine the paste with steel wool, then you can actually get rust, surface rust, and sometimes pretty deep rust off of hard surfaces as well, which would be obviously steel. So definitely something you need to have if you're going to go into our outdoor-based goods. It's not like every product that I mess with needs cleaning of some sort. It's just that it's important to have some of these cheap cleaners ready so that way you can convert your money quicker. Okay, so on the last video, I also asked you guys to give me some questions relating outdoor-based goods, and here are some of my answers to those questions. One question was regarding wear and tear, like how worn is too worn? It's a really good question, and the second I saw that, I thought immediately of trail shoes, hiking boots, and things like that, because that's one of the easiest places to see a lot of wear. On a jacket, wear will typically be in the form of a tear, or it might be in the form of a crack, let's say like on a raincoat that has a nice like thin rubbery inside, you know, a lot of times those can be cracked. But sometimes wear and tear is also good when you deal with a waxed canvas jacket, for example, or a leather bomber jacket. Now you're talking about, wear being a good thing. So I think the question here is how worn is too worn? So when we deal with things like shoes specifically, and I'll give that as an example, how worn is too worn? When I see that the primary nub is gone, so like usually on the bottom of a boot, or the bottom of a trail running shoe or something like that, an approach shoe or whatever, when you look at the bottom, it's gonna have, obviously nubs, right? And then there are other nubs on top of those nubs that are what I call kind of like secondary nubs. So when a shoe has nubs on nubs, like nubs on nubs, that's a good thing. That means it's kind of mint and everything like that. When the first set of nubs are gone, now you're dealing with something that's been used a little bit. And then when that other nub, the last nub, is about halfway gone, or there's a lot of heel wear or something like that, or even if you look into the shoe, for example, or boot, and you see that some of the inside has shifted around and it cannot be put back into place, or there's a hole or something like that, yeah, think twice about that. I'd probably pass that kind of stuff up. But then when you deal with certain kind of boots, distressed, weathered, kind of torn up looking, people like that too. So it's kind of a vague answer to the question, but still nevertheless an answer to the question. I think how worn is too worn? When you deal with a bike, for example, there's wear and tear, but it's pretty obvious. And so when I pick my bikes to flip, for example, locally, I'm picking bikes that have potential in their current state as I see them. And if I improve them, then it improves my money based upon the time I put into it. So that's kind of like my answer to that. Another question right here. Thrift stores have less quality items and it's getting harder to source. And I agree with you. So, all the thrift stores here in Austin, they seem to find the outdoor-based goods, or some of them, and it gets a little bit harder. But when something becomes a little bit harder, that just means it's a challenge to you. And a lot of times the way to address the challenge is twofold. One is just learn more, all right? So when my new guide comes out next week, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's huge, it is enormous. And it'll teach you all kinds of amazing outdoor-based goods that you can resell. So learning more, very, very important. The second thing that you can do is don't only think that you can find this stuff at thrift stores. You gotta be in the know of like things like the REI garage sale. You have to be in the know regarding Facebook Marketplace, and Nextdoor, Craigslist, what to search for, things like that. So you cannot just think that thrift stores are the only places that you can find outdoor-based goods, when in fact here in Austin, Texas, and coast to coast, I have sourced outdoors-based goods. And I find them at thrift stores, I find them at garage sales, I find them at estate sales, side of the road sales. I just find them all over. So yeah, don't ever think that it's just one place that you have to find these things, because I found them every single place, and in the guide I talked about all that kind of stuff too. All right, here's a good question. Outdoor-based goods may be long tail. How can I kind of circumvent that? Like, how can I make them short tail? So the easiest way to make anything short tail is to learn more about the ones that are short tail. When you're dealing with outdoor-based goods, there are so many short tail ones, it's ridiculous. But there's so many bad companies that are making outdoor-based goods that you don't want to mess with. There are companies like Greatland, it's not the greatest brand, you know. Outdoor Products, they're just Ozark Trail, there's a bunch of them. Arctic coolers, those are okay. But there's just so much more money in the better brands. Yeti coolers, for example. When you deal with a flannel, for example, you know, a CC Filson flannel is amazing. When you deal with a bag, that's an outdoor-based bag. A Yeti bag is cool. So is an Orvis Bat and Kill bag. So is a CC Filson bag. There are just so many really cool brands that you can learn about. Yeah. If you're having trouble and you're thinking a little bit more long tail on these outdoor-based goods, you're not sourcing the right outdoor-based goods. You have to find the right ones. And some of them can be seasonality plays as well. Because right now, here in Austin, Texas, I can sell snowboard jackets and everything, but we're also in the fall. We're in the month of December. So snowboard jackets are great for the next 2 months. Skiing jackets, bibs, all that kind of stuff, even helmets, you know, those are great. But I'm not gonna touch that thing in the middle of summer or the spring here in Austin, Texas. I'm just not gonna do that. Or even, well, in the fall, I start to source in the fall for those kind of things. All right, so on the next video that's gonna drop Friday on this channel, we talk about more outdoor-based tips that you can, you know, take to your actual town and start working on. And I'll show you a little bit more on the value side of like why you should be doing outdoor-based goods and incorporating it into your income stream. So that's coming in the next video. What I want from you right now is one thing. So comment down below. First of all, hit the like button if you like this kind of content, but comment down below, what is your favorite, all right, your favorite outdoor brand to flip? And if you don't have one, and if you don't know outdoor goods very well, that's okay. You can just put, I'm eager to learn or whatever in your comment. I want you guys to comment, and I want to see, you know, what I can address for you guys. But we'll also go through some more problems with outdoor-based goods in the next video and things like that. So that way you guys can get a little bit more custom and not so maybe fearful if you haven't done this before on how to make the money on reselling outdoor-based goods. That's pretty much the video. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Goodbye.